very disappointed for our players, our fans, our coaching staff, but give credit to Michigan State. They obviously did enough to win this football game, did a better job of handling the elements than we did, and obviously persevered at the end of the game there with their defense and everything that went into the end of the game. But this all started, literally the way the game couldn't have started any better with obviously an interception. We went forward, didn't get the points there, but came back and Isaiah got on the scoreboard first, and then it just, it seemed like every time we tried to get ahead, like something pulled us back. And a lot of these were self-inflicted, and told the guys in the locker room this is the definition of how to lose a game. Obviously, statistically, did a really good job in certain things, but statistics are exactly what they are. They're on the stat sheet. They don't count. And really going to be a hard one to get these guys, but they obviously will take tomorrow. It'll be a huge learning experience for my staff, myself, our coaches, our players, and then we'll have to rebound and get ourselves on track for Purdue. From an injury standpoint, don't really know where some of those guys are. Just there was a couple guys that were concussion related, so Taz and there was somebody else. I can't remember who, but there's another player that was in that same boat. So we'll see where those guys are at and hopefully have them back for Purdue. But with that, open it up.
You've done this a long time. How do you normally get the guys back after a tough one like this?
Yeah, this is you know what? Twofold, right? Like I'm glad they were, very disappointed. It's a very disappointed locker room. Had a lot of success, and as a coach, you coach the same after a win as you do after a loss. And, you prepare them to handle the moment, whether it's a great one or a bad one. But we're definitely going to have to learn from this, because this is one that there was enough things, offense, defense, and special teams that took away from getting where we needed to be. But at this point in season 2, you have the physical element of it as well, right? So we're into a tough 5-game stretch here on the back end. To get an opportunity to get ourselves healthy and get prepared for Purdue is going to be a big challenge. Yeah, well, we felt we had to get to basically the 18-yard line, but I was going to go to the 20. I got an apology from the officials, obviously the end of half there when they declined it. We sent out the field goal unit, and of course they changed their mind and then accepted the penalty. That I don't know why that happened. They apologized to me, said it was their fault. So it's unfortunate, but it's one of those things that we gotta move forward from. I think the other part that for us in the kickoff return game, we just couldn't, and you could see how hard it was. Everybody thought kicking with a wind was going to be the saving grace, but it was really how you handle the moments when they're kicking into it, right? And we didn't handle those moments well.
Did you have a good week of practice leading up to this?
Yeah, I really, Tuesday we basically did a combo walk and practice, very similar to what we did to Iowa, Minnesota, and then Wednesday I thought was a really clean practice, and Thursday is probably the best one we had all year, But I've been a part of these where you have the worst practices all week and play incredibly well on Saturday, and vice versa. I think these guys were ready to play Michigan State, and I know that we got to get back and look. The easy thing to sit back and say they weren't ready to play, but our guys were chomping at the bit. We just did enough uncharacteristic things today to not win this football game.
Red zone scoring touchdowns.
Yeah, I think we got to be able to run it in, right? I mean, there's definitely, maybe explore personnel groupings. We're staying in our 11 and 12. Maybe we need to get bigger. Maybe we need to get smaller. Just get to the threshold of it, and weren't able to get it in. And then obviously to get down as low as we are, and then we had those 2 penalties that backed us up. That absolutely killed us.
In the 6-game stretch before this, pretty consistent on the execution. Was hitting all 3 phases.
Yeah.
You had a sense for where that came from?
I think give credit to Michigan State, but on the flip side of it, penalties, mental errors, and turnovers. They when those things happen, it's hard to win. And I told these guys after the game, like, at this point, we're not a good enough football team to have those things happen and be able to overcome it. And a lot of teams aren't, right? But I do think our guys will be aware of it. I do think they'll be very coachable, just like they were coachable after the wins, and it'll be a quick turnaround to get on to Purdue, and sometimes that's exactly what you need to do. Absolutely. The dropped whatever you want to say, the drop on the punt, right? Like I didn't get a full explanation, and that's kind of what curbed our decision there at the end of the game too, right? I had seen what had happened there and just realized we weren't really at the point where we need to be. But in the kicking game, I think we got to look especially good at our punt execution, what we're asking him to do, what he can do. Our protection's been good, and then in the KOR game, it was kind of a little bit of how far can that guy kick it? What are they going to do? And obviously, it was tough to field those kicks on both sides of it. Fabrizi can punt. Caleb can punt. Hugh's done some good things, but I think we just got to line up and execute what we do better. Well, I think they did a good job. They kept it a little bit off balance. They completed some deep passes. Some 50-50 balls were there. Unfortunately, at the corner when Taz went out, then Rello went out at half, and now you're really down to your fourth corner. And T-Strain got his hand on the ball there. I thought he came in and did some good stuff, but it's Big Ten play. You're going to have the guys that are on the back, that haven't maybe had a lot of opportunities, but they got to come in and take advantage of their moment. I thought T-Strain did that, and I'm excited to see where he can go.
You talked about managing the elements. Was there any thought you had to wind your back and kind of go vertical a little bit more?
When we had the wind, in conversation with Barry, we wanted to maximize as best we can, and they were also doing some things to take that away. I thought we were going as fast as we could. I wouldn't really, until I look at the film, say if there's anything I would have attacked differently. But Tommy really did a pretty good job of throwing the ball vertically, even there at the end. Absolutely. Well, I think when you win 6 in a row, right? Like the feeling that you get, and as a players, I keep warning our coaches, right? Like these guys haven't felt this before, so they're going to really feel it. We kept just reminding them. One of my main messages all week was this is a 3-5 football team, which is the same exact record of Indiana, and we know what Indiana did to us, right? So kept drawing their attention to that, putting the focus on us versus Michigan State. Obviously, everything they'd gone through this week, I knew it was going to be the rally cry of them, right? That they had their backs against the wall, and a lot of players weren't here. That they rallied around, and their credit to their guys, they did a really good job. I did. When we took the second half, obviously I didn't want to give the ball, but we were taking the ball, so we took the ball, and then they kicked into the wind. They took the wind in the fourth quarter, and I did get on the headset with the offense and said, hey, let's see what we can do to open this up, because the third quarter when we have the win, let's take advantage of it while we have it. But we just couldn't get enough over the hump. Again, just some lost opportunities, some penalties, and then the punt. When we're kicking with the wind, you're expecting to flip the wind there, and all of a sudden I saw the ball. Like I was literally watching the protection, so I didn't watch and then we jumped right into defense, so I didn't really get a chance to watch it. But to me that was a big turn there, because obviously we had failed on offense. We're punting the ball, but we felt like you're going to take and flip the field position game there, and obviously for that to happen is a tough one.
There's some urgency, I'd say, in that last drive to get down there. Would you like to see a little bit more of that in the offense in general?
Well, that was 2 minutes. We go tempo as much. Now, they also set a record for injuries, that miraculously came back within everybody came back from all those injuries. So that was a little frustrating, but it's the game. That's the way it's played. That's what it is. So it was really hard for us to get tempo going, because they had a lot of players get injured. And when they get injured, it stops the clock, stops the momentum, and it's just hard to get that going. What's that?
If we don't have seen 9 tackles for loss against you guys much this year, what do you have a sense of
Yeah, I think it was a little bit of some things here, some things there. They got pressure on the quarterback. I know there was a first down run that they shot a guy through and tackled for loss. They did return their front a little bit more probably than we thought they were going to do. But for the most part, we just got to be cleaner at the point of attack, at the line of scrimmage, and execute, maybe just strain a little bit more. I really thought we were on the verge of maybe breaking one of those plays into a big run, but we just weren't able to get one in the house.
Next week is one more after this. Next week is senior day. A lot to play for. Obviously, how that
Well, I thank the fans, right? I know they showed up today when it was a weather day, and we got one more game left. These guys, these seniors have invested a lot in this program, and we're beginning to scratch our way into something of more relevance, a little bit more relevant in the college football world. So excited for these guys. I know it'll be an emotional game day for some of those seniors. Care a lot about these guys. Today was Dad's Day, so those dads walked down the steps and was able to see a lot of dads. Some of them I hadn't even met before, that were very thankful and appreciative of what we've done for their sons. But that's a normal senior day. I think it'll be an emotional moment in that moment, but then I think they'll play football.
Anything else? All good? Thank you.
Thank you.